New institutional economics is an economic perspective that attempts to extend economics by focusing on the social and legal norms and rules that underlie economic activity, and with analysis beyond earlier institutional economics and neoclassical economics. It can be seen as a broadening step to include aspects excluded in neoclassical economics. It rediscovers aspects of classical political economy. Overview. NIE has its roots in two articles by Ronald Coase, The Nature of the Firm, and The Problem of Social Cost. In the latter, the Coase theorem maintains that without transaction costs, alternative property right assignments can equivalently internalize conflicts and externalities. Therefore, comparative institutional analysis arising from such assignments is required to make recommendations about efficient internalization of externalities, and institutional design, including law and economics. At present, NIE analyses are built on a more complex set of methodological principles and criteria. They work within a modified neoclassical framework in considering both efficiency and distribution issues, in contrast to traditional, old, or original institutional economics, which is critical of mainstream neoclassical economics. The term new institutional economics was coined by Oliver Williamson in 1975. Among the many aspects in current NIE analyses are these: organizational arrangements, property rights, transaction costs, credible commitments, modes of governance, persuasive abilities, social norms, ideological values, decisive perceptions, gained control, enforcement mechanism, asset specificity, human assets, social capital, asymmetric information, strategic behavior, bounded rationality, opportunism, adverse selection, moral hazard, contractual safeguards, surrounding uncertainty, monitoring costs, incentives to collude, hierarchical structures, bargaining strength, etc. Major scholars associated with the subject include Armin Alkian, Harold Demsetz, Stephen N. S. Chung, Avner Grief, Yoram Barzel, Claude Minard, and four Nobel laureates, Ronald Coase, Douglas North, Elinor Ostrom, and Oliver Williamson. A convergence of such research has resulted in founding the International Society for New Institutional Economics in 1997. Institutional levels. Although no single, universally accepted set of definitions has been developed, most scholars doing research under the NIE methodological principles and criteria follow Douglas North's demarcation between institutions and organizations. Institutions are the rules of the game, consisting of both the formal legal rules and the informal social norms that govern individual behavior and structure social interactions. Organizations, by contrast, are those groups of people and the governance arrangements they create to coordinate their team action against other teams performing also as organizations. Firms, universities, clubs, medical associations, unions, etc. are some examples. Oliver Williamson characterizes four levels of social analysis. The first of these levels concerns itself with social theory. It is the level of embeddedness and informal rules. The second level is focused on the institutional environment and formal rules. It utilizes the economics of property rights and positive political theory. The third level focuses on governance and the interactions of actors within transaction cost economics, the play of the game. Williamson gives the example of contracts between groups to explicate this level. Finally, the fourth level is governed by neoclassical economics. It is the allocation of resources and employment. New institutional economics is focused on levels 2 and 3. Because some institutional frameworks are realities always nested inside other broader institutional frameworks. This clear demarcation is always blurred in actual situations. A case in point is a university. when the average quality of its teaching services must be evaluated. For example, a university may be approached as an organization with its people, physical capital, the general governing rules common to all that were passed by the university governing bodies, etc. However, if the task consists of evaluating people's performance in a specific teaching department, for example, along with their own internal formal and informal rules, then the university as a whole enters the picture as an institution. General university rules, then, form part of the broader institutional framework influencing people's performance at the said teaching department.